Okay, it is 9:02 a.m. February the 11th, 21. I have four stocks on the main watch list. These are all listed stocks. I think the rest of the deposits with Interactive Brokers settled, so I can trade much more. I don't have that smaller limit that I had previously. I'll have a much larger amount to use on the cash accounts, which will be great just to go long. And yeah, four stocks. This one is kind of looking like a head and shoulders. Not really. It's up over 100%. Long-term chart seems pretty good so far. Let's keep going further back. It's really not a bad chart. I mean, this was a long time ago. It's actually a pretty good chart. The only thing I don't like is that, it's kind of had these big volume things, but I mean, the volume already traded is pretty impressive, so it seems like it might not be too much of an issue. Obviously, it could still fail, but least likely, because the long-term chart isn't that bad, and although it's traded some previously, not as much as today, so that's actually not bad. NXTD, I'll just have it. It's up only 20%, probably not a move. It is starting to hold above this 180 level, which is pretty impressive. And if it can hold to, that will be even better. Although right now it looks like a lower high. There's nothing I want to trade with that right now, if anything. INFI maybe got sold off. I don't know. Might have been a big, spiker that just sold off the rest of the day. Don't like the way how it's been uptrending like this, and it led to that. Could have been just a short squeeze, and now it's just, I don't know what happened there. Now it's just heading back to reality. So I don't think this might be something I can trade unless it makes some kind of a nice setup later. Otherwise, I'll probably just remove it. CLSN, I like this one too. Looks like it's doing a ascending triangle, perhaps trying to break out the pre-market high of 360-ish. At least that's what it's trying. I don't like it too much, even though the price action looks nice, because it just traded so much volume not too long ago. There could clearly be a lot of people selling into this spike. This might have been like a short squeeze, and now it's just gonna, fade off once the short squeeze is finished. It is a sushi chart, so I don't know. I like the price action. I don't like the long-term charts. I'll keep looking at it. Anything can happen with it. This is all I got for right now at pre-market. Okay, it's 9:08 a.m. I actually tried going long here at 367. Just probably need to stop being a little baby, but because I didn't get executed rather quickly, I canceled the order. Really, the idea here is, and it's kind of a speculative idea, but the idea is that it's holding the breakout level right here at 360-ish, so it's a confirmed breakout. If it holds, it can absolutely fail. It's pre-market. This is the chart with the one that had a lot of volume previously. This could all just be a short squeeze, so I was extra conservative, and because I didn't get executed immediately when I placed the order, I got out, and quite frankly, I would be pretty salty right now at the 358. But as long as it holds that 353 level, I would still be in it. Once it cracks it, I'm out, and it would have only been 50 shares had I have actually gotten in. So just trading very small, but I like how I was able to place an order here pre-market without any issues. I honestly didn't know if that was going to be a problem or not. They didn't ask me for commissions because I didn't route this through Amex, so that's a pretty good thing. And I don't know, could this thing still do it? It probably could still do it, but now it's a bit scary, dude, because the longer it takes, the more of a chance it could fail. But yeah, I guess I have to just make sure orders do not have that at Amex, whatever. In that case, it won't be commission trading. There won't be any delay placing orders. This could still work, but I don't like this. My risk would be that wick, and it looks like it might crack it. Not really a bull flag, more of a confirmed breakout setup. I'll make an update if it works or not. Okay, just a few minutes later, or maybe even seconds, RCMT just wanted to know, this one actually had a breakout. at 874, and it didn't just break out, but it didn't really come back. It just continued from the 870s all the way to 10. This is impressive. I didn't see this. I remember seeing this looking head and shoulders thing, whatever you want to call it. Looks like an uptrending head and shoulders. Nice spike afterwards. NXTD looks like it's fading. INFI. Yeah, I'll delete it. Pretty nice spike ahead in the morning though. I just have 3 stocks. NXTD might go pretty soon. RCMT is impressive. The only thing I don't like about this stock right now is the price. I would have to trade 50 shares, and even that would be kind of a large position for what I feel like I want to trade at the moment. This is the one with a pretty good long-term chart, so this one has a lot of things going for it. Whether it goes up a lot or down a lot doesn't matter, but if it's nice volatility, I'll consider trading it in a setup that I'm interested in. Okay, it's 9:23, just 7 more minutes till the market open. MMPR is a new stock on the watch list. Just a very impressive. This one is just pure, green price action minus this one candle here. Actually considered maybe a bull flag buy. I didn't do it. Again, these large spikers that I've seen recently, they are just too expensive. If I were to trade 50 shares of this, I would still be trading like, an $800 position. So not something I really want to do, but clearly worked out here, which is impressive. The long-term chart isn't that bad. The volume isn't too bad. It could be sold into from this day, sure, or this day, but it could be much worse. It's only I remember this stock. I think I've seen this stock. I'm not too sure exactly, but just not a bad chart because it's a rather new stock, and yeah, just a potential bull flag, I guess. But again, kind of sketchy, especially now because we're getting closer, I think, towards the market open. RCMT, is this the one with the... No, it wasn't this one. It didn't work out here. You would have cut losses right at the wick here. The setup didn't work out, although this type of setup on this one would have worked out, I guess, if it were to... Well, no, because by now if it were to downtrend to the breakout level here, that would actually be kind of bearish because it's up so much from that level. RCMT looks like it's downtrending. Didn't really give itself an opportunity to make maybe an inverse, not an inverse, but an uptrending head and shoulders to buy off the, after the pattern is set up. But yeah, there's nothing right now. This one again did do that uptrending head and shoulders, but this one actually just dropped from there. It actually played out, but sometimes if you see it uptrending so much, like such a much taller shoulder than the other one, it does a nice spike right after it does this little drop right there towards the neckline. So yeah, just looking right now, nothing I really want to trade. They're kind of pricey, these two stocks. I wish they were cheaper, but hey, this is more opportunity than yesterday. I do feel out of my range trading these because they're so expensive and spiky, but I'll keep looking, and I just have to keep getting better. Okay, it's 9:35. CLSN had a crack right here at 278, which isn't good with this volume. But then you see all of this volume here, like it just woke up with the market open. Look at these big candles that just formed off of this. It's pretty impressive. I mean, you see it crack this 280 level, yet it does this big move on the upside. That's really incredible. I didn't trade this. I wouldn't have traded it just because it cracked this level of 280. Maybe if it had a hold, I would have considered buying, but definitely not like this. And it also cracked the $3 level, but I guess now it's above it, which is pretty good. MMPR had a drop. It got halted. I don't know what happened to this guy. RCMT, unfortunately, is a halter too. I should have probably paid attention more on this stock because it has the cleanest long-term chart. It was a nice breakout here, right? And then it had this nice uptrend, and then it kind of fell back. So here we have a small wick towards this 950-ish level uptrend, and then we had a larger wick towards this level, which is actually kind of bullish. kind of held itself. This is a sketchy candle right here, but after that it had a nice move. I'm just trying to make sense out of these price action movements and see what, wow. I'm just trying to make sense out of this, so maybe I can get better in the future. Let's see if it cracks it. It cracks it. It might get halted again if it keeps doing these big moves like that. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, just no setups right now. Nothing I really want to trade. CLSN could be a sketchy inverse head and shoulders here. But yeah, nothing right now. I'll definitely keep looking. Okay, it's 9:45 a.m. Definitely no setups right now. RCMT became a crazy halter, unfortunately, and that led to this price action. I guess here, this nice downtrend, cracked this 951 level at least right now. Maybe I'll try to hold in the 850s or around 9. I don't know. It's just no setups right now. Nothing I really want to trade. Lots of red volume. This is one with the clean chart, the dirty chart. Yeah, so this one had a bit of a spike here, and then it kind of downtrended. Nothing really I want to trade, although it is putting up a higher low, which is good for that. Yeah, no setups right now. A little disappointing, but you know, it could definitely be worse. Okay, it's 9:49. I kind of considered actually going long here. Issue is that it's just making a sketchy triangle, but because it is making a sketchy triangle, it just feels like it could make a nice uptrend here. It is trying to put up higher lows. Volume is really bad though. I didn't take that into consideration until now. I don't know why. It just feels like it could do a nice uptrend. But because it is a sketchy triangle, maybe it'll do maybe it'll flash a big red candle. I don't know. I felt like really buying there, but it is after all sketchy triangle, and I've been burnt on this setup plenty times before. That's something that's fading. I feel like it's gonna work, and then it works a little, and then it cracks the level of support. So I'll probably just watch this. But if I keep seeing that I call it, you know, maybe I'll consider trading them. And hopefully by then the pattern still works. It's at 293 again. I felt like buying this in the, I think in this candle, 281. It just felt like, you know, something that was gonna make a nice uptrend, but it was a sketchy triangle. We'll see if this thing continues to run. Maybe that's all I can do. I don't know. Volume is fading though, so it would have to do some kind of a breakout in terms of how much volume there is down here, but so far it would be right if I have gone in. I almost got in, but I don't know. I've been burned on this setup before, but this one seems to be working. It's pretty good. Okay, it's 9:57. RCMT, I just noticed it in this candle, so I might be too late to it, but it looks like it's trying to make a potential inverse head and shoulders. This would be the head right here, so the idea would be the nice buy into it spiking, hopefully towards the neckline. Lots of support all around here. I'm actually going to consider this, although I might be too late. I might be too late, or I might just be too scared, but you know, this could definitely do a nice spike and make a neckline in the 11s. If it wants to, of course. This is the one with the clean long-term chart too. If I chicken out and miss this, I won't feel too bad. Although I can probably risk it now off the 932 candle. I don't know. I think I won't do it, but it could very well do it. And if it makes a shoulder right here, if it does spike to the neckline and make a shoulder, it will be pretty good. I don't know. I just feel too much pressure, but this could kind of work out. But it is kind of taking a while now. That's actually a bad candle. That's actually not looking too good anymore. Although it can still work out. I'm not going to consider buying anymore. Yeah, that was a pretty bad candle when it formed like that. Then it cracked this wick here. It could still play out, but at this point I would rather just wait for it, if it actually makes an inverse head and shoulders, than to try trading off the head, which is a bit riskier. CLSN, it's where was it? Yeah, it had this again. I've had this happen to me before. You know, I'm just seeing it downtrend and I'm like, I feel like it's gonna spike, and then it does a little bit. This one at least spiked a little bit, and then it fails and cracks a support level. Now it's chilling under 280, which is not good. But if it continues holding this 275-ish level and it has some kind of an uptrend and volume picks up, sure, but no setup right now. RCMT is the one to look at, I guess, even though it kind of had that failed candle right there that I didn't like. But yeah, we'll definitely just, you know, keep looking. Okay, it's 10:16 a.m. A lot of these OTCs are failing, but this one seems to put up a somewhat nice number 5. There are a few other ones. Mentally, I would have already sold in the 17s right here because the volume was dying at the time, although it finished a bit higher. And of course, it's easier to sell on the uptrend than a downtrend. So I would have already been out, but Tim actually nailed it right here. Buying at 10, not 10 ounce, buying at 15 too. Is he still in it? He's still in it. Yeah, it's impressive. Although I would be selling just because the volume is fading. But it got up to 18. That's pretty nice. Yeah, just maybe I can trade OTCs with TD immediate trade. In a very long time ago, pretty impressive. I added MJNA to the watch list because Joe Biden and everything with the presidency, and because he's you know, ideally more pro legalization, although Obama didn't really do much for that. There were some states that legalized, but I saw it a long time ago, and it actually led to this nice uptrend. You know, you see these crazy moves, but I could have actually been in this one, although I would not have probably have held this long, because, you know, you're always scared of it being halted because of something sketchy going on with it. But most of the OTCs are doing crappy number 5s like this that are just not really doing it. Some of them do, but just a little, and it just consolidates. HEMP actually did, and is still doing, I guess, a nice number 5 so far. Again, I would have already been out somewhere in the 17s. I think in this candle, or this candle, just because the volume is fading. But pretty impressive nonetheless. CLSN, nothing I really want to trade. Just again, cracked this 280 level. I called it. You know, this has happened before, and I guess it shows that I've gotten better at it, because I didn't trade it this time, unless I wanted to sell into a quick spike. RCMT, nothing I want to trade. Inverse head and shoulders failed. You know, the shoulder head, and it never made a spike towards the neckline to make a shoulder. Although now, you know, I'm just watching it. I'm not hoping that it does or doesn't. It could make a inverse head and shoulders off of this range if it does sit, but you know, right now those setups, just looking at what other people are talking about in the OTC lane, you know, they're still making moves, just not as good as it was, I think, previously. And I mean, it's still gonna continue to be setups, just I think a lot less, or a lot, you know, a lot riskier than what it was just a few days ago. Alright, it is 10:40, so what I'm going to do is call it off in terms of watching the stocks for every, pretty much every minute, and I'll just peek back into the market here and there to see if maybe there's any nice higher low setups later in the day or midday, in the afternoon, something like that potentially, or maybe not. But yeah, RCMT just failed. You know, inverse head and shoulders head right here that could have spiked and made another shoulder. Didn't do that. Didn't make a head, inverse head and shoulders here, head, shoulder. Didn't make a shoulder up here, so that didn't work either. Just cracked a major level of support. Was a very nice breakout intraday pre-market. I did miss that one, And yeah, well, after that wasn't really too much of a nice setup. CLSN, not really something I want to trade, although maybe if it keeps making these higher lows, maybe that would be something to trade, but otherwise not really. 280 is going to be a very important level of resistance, so I don't know if it can crack that. NXTD made a nice run. It finally became more of a tradable stock later in the day. I wasn't there for it, but the clear level, at least looking at a multi-day chart, is this 213, because we had a wick here at 213. I think that was a very significant level. So what happened was that it kind of broke through this level at 213 right around here, kind of faded, did it again, faded under it just a little, but overall it started holding this 213 level. All of this kind of made an uptrending head and shoulder, head, shoulder, and 216, and then it got to the breakout level over the intraday high of 225. Started holding it, not perfectly. I saw it around here. I didn't like how it was making larger wicks, but then it stopped and then it held together, and now it's in the 240s. That's a pretty nice one. I just did not see it because I was looking at other stocks. It was doing nothing. It looked like it was just going to fade the rest of the day, but it definitely picked up, provided more price action. I guess I should just go back and see all the stocks I removed earlier and see how they're doing later. There are still plenty of OTC runners, like and I don't even have all of them. A lot of them are mentioned in the chat, but since I was restricted because I broke the PDT rule, I haven't really updated the OTC list. But there are still OTC runners like BRLL running, so that is pretty impressive. But yeah, I'm just gonna call it off in terms of looking at the stocks every single minute. If something shows up, something shows up. But this might be the last video. Maybe it'll be another one, but probably no setups, or at least anything that I want to trade, and I'll just start working on other things. So yeah, definitely just start calling it off now, and we'll see what happens, especially here with CLSN. Maybe it'll crack 280 level. I mean, but whether it does or doesn't, it was overall a good trading day. Okay, it is 12:41 p.m. Just gonna end it, call it off. Yeah, I just looked at the markets here or there to see if there were any setups or stuff like that I'd be interested in, and the answer is no, not really. NXTD didn't go much further. It did fail from the level. It tried to hold this breakout level in the 220s. It ultimately did a confirmed breakdown. Again, I can't short right now, unless I wanted to switch with Interactive Brokers into a margin account, and then I could be able to short these. However, if I do that, then I'm put back in the I'm stuck with the pattern day trader. So unless I want to maybe trade in and out with TD Immediate Trade long, and then have an IB account for shorting stocks, that wouldn't be a bad idea. And now I qualify to apply for a margin account. They have requirements and I meet those, so I could do that. And CLSN, just yeah, I wanted to trade something that would put up higher lows. These are lower lows instead, so it was a nice downtrend. I mean, I guess once it cracked officially this 260-ish level, the low from here, bit of a confirmed breakdown to the 230s. That's pretty impressive. I just can't short. That's too bad. RCMT maybe will do some kind of an uptrend. It could, but it's gonna have to fight all of this resistance here, especially $8. So it could do it, but yeah, I'm just gonna call it off. It could be worse. It was better than yesterday, I think. It could have been a nice inverse head and shoulders here or here. Just really no setups in terms of that, but I'd say it was a pretty good day. It could be a lot worse, and I just had to keep studying and working on myself.